So for the grand finale for this evening's program, I'm very pleased to introduce Gina McLain. Gina is a professional massage therapist, and although it may seem antithetical to someone who is very passionate about helping people, she's also a member of the roller derby league, the Kansas City Roller Warriors. Gina is someone about whom many of us at the museum have been aware for quite some time, and we've been racking our collective brains as to what kind of program we could devise that we could invite her to participate in. So finally we found it tonight. And I don't think it'll be difficult for you at all to see exactly why we wanted her to be here this evening. Thanks, Gina.
Hello. You can tell I'm not a public speaker. Okay. So, hi, I'm sorry. My name is Gina McClain, and I have a tattoo of Persephone on my back. Okay. So just to give you a quick little overview on the backstory of this, Persephone was the daughter of Demeter, the goddess of harvest, and one day she was swept away to the underworld by Hades to be his wife. And Demeter got really, really angry and brought down drought and famine on Earth, and forcing Hades to come in agreement with Demeter, where Persephone was allowed to return to the living for 6 months of the year and then go back down to the underworld for the other 6 months. It's the way the Greeks used this myth to explain the changing of the seasons. This is Thomas Hart Benton's adaptation of this Greek mythology. That's my tattoo. Yeah, go big or go home, right? My parents are really proud, let me tell you. So I interviewed 6 artists in the Kansas City area to figure out who I wanted. This is Ben Alvarez at Done Right Tattoos. It's above Grinders in East Crossroads. I was mostly impressed with his portfolio and his technique. He's one of the few tattoo artists that do tattoos freehand. So a lot of artists will usually draw it on or sketch it out. He just did it freehand. I also wanted someone who was responsible. He's a father of 2 wonderful little girls, and he's married. He doesn't drink. He shows up to work. Because obviously this was going to be a big task. So this is the first session. We just did the outline, or he did the outline. It took about 3 hours. It was very exciting. I was like, is it done yet? That's about 3 weeks in, or 3rd session in. That's part of it. I first fell in love with Persephone when I first moved here from Lincoln, Nebraska. I just said that. So my first visit here, I saw her and I just fell in love with her. I immediately bought her poster and put it in front of my bed. It was a really small room. And every morning I would wake up, I would feel like a woman, and I would feel alive and embodied. And as a massage therapist, I think it's really important to recognize your body. I think a lot of us live in our heads, and especially now with social media, people are just like, what's going on? So it's a constant reminder. And even though I can't see her, I feel her presence there. It's a good reminder of life. We had to have a little fun during one of our tattoo sessions because we're silly like that. Thug life. That is Hades, kind of up close. The color of blue and reds and greens is just amazing. I mean, the amount of he does this freehand. Yeah. So I skate for the Kansas City Roller Warriors, as she mentioned. It's been a part of my life for the last decade, whether I was on skates or not. I coached also, so that's a big part. Ironically enough, my name is Rita Ploy. It doesn't stem from Rita, from his wife, but my mother. But the reason I mention this to you is the only thing that I changed about the tattoo is instead of her shoes, I put my roller skates. Yeah. It's my little homage to her. I was like, we change this. I didn't want to change anything else. So I originally thought I was going to put like my jersey as her dress, but this is about Persephone. It's not about me. So, but that's my little thing. Oh, on a side note, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back. On a side note, when we first started the Derby Leagues, we were trying to come up with themes. And my idea is one of the themes for the team was to be the shuttlecocks. And I really wanted to have white jersey dresses and orange helmets. I mean, it represents the art community. Like, how cute is that? It didn't happen. This is about the 7th session. So it's really starting to come in really nicely. He still has a little bit to do. I was like, is it done yet? Are we done yet? So exciting. Each session was about 3 hours long, and I do them about once a month. So this photo was taken by my really good friend Phil Peterson for the cover of Kansas City Ink magazine here in town, which I was extremely grateful for because up to that point I'd had this tattoo about a year, and my parents wouldn't talk to me about it. They were like, what do we do with this? So the article inside really explained why I got this tattoo. Both my parents and the generations before them were Midwestern farmers. So it was kind of my own, not only a homage to Derby, obviously, but my homage to my family and my Midwestern roots. So it was really, really important to me. My grandparents on both sides were gold to me. So. And they really appreciate it. Now they talk to me about it. And they're like, oh, I didn't notice that before. So overall, I had 18 sessions and about 40 hours of work over 2 years. It took a while. And it wasn't painful. Everyone's like, is that painful? But your back's pretty dense, so it can handle it. I didn't like my sides of my little fat, and that didn't feel good, kind of getting poked. The only other tattoo that I had at previous time was a tiny little Chinese symbol on my shoulder I got when I was like 18. So this is officially my first tattoo and the only one that I have. So that's that. Thank you.
So I hope you'll join me in thanking all 6 of our speakers once again. This was amazing.